Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are joined here with Catherine Alanovi, and yes, she is helping pets all over the world with her holistic healing and holistic medicine. As a former veterinarian, she's joining us today once again live here on the show to talk more about some alternative ways and holistic ways to really keep that health of your pet alive and well. Maybe a little less medication. There's a time and place, but I'm just excited that Dr. Cathy's back because she's just awesome and healthy possibilities has been helping so many people for years now with natural remedies to help pets without pharmaceuticals and so much more. So hello and welcome back. How are you?
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. I want to know how the kitty babies are. I haven't seen you in forever. The kittens have got to be huge.
Yes, for those that don't know, my cat, Princess and Simba, had babies on December 23rd. We had 5, we lost 2. We have 3 healthy babies. So we're going on, 6 weeks now. And they are
Yeah.
little rascals running around, little fur balls, fluffy little things. They are just amazing. And they're exploring the house more and weaning from mom. They are good. They are loving life and they're so darn cute. And my kids want to keep all 3, and that's driving me crazy.
Yes.
But I don't know what we're gonna do. I just fall in love with these things. I can't. I can't. But they are wonderful. So thank you for asking about them. Dad though is having the spraying peeing problem, so he's really locked up all day, and I have him in diapers. I need to get the dad fixed, and this is a problem I'm sure a
Yeah.
lot of pet owners. But again, now I'm worried if I get him fixed, it may not even stop this spraying thing, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. It's territorial behavior.
Now that
And
the
we
kittens
have,
are here, he's doing it all the time. So I had to get a
right.
diaper. So I mean, would it stop
Oh, okay, if
eventually?
it works, hallelujah.
But the upkeep of changing a diaper, he'll come out, he'll spray, I have to throw the diaper away, throw him back. It's just a lot of work. Does that really
Right.
change if they do get fixed one day?
It's a bit of an old wives' tale. We have a bunch in veterinary medicine. It might get better. He might chill out. It might be he's going to be Mr. I'm going to mark my territory. And then part of the issue is you probably know just
Yeah.
how hard it is to get cat pee, get the smell out. And there are all these stories on the internet. They say to add vinegar, add baking soda. What else have you read? None of them work. They make it worse.
Wow.
Yeah, the problem with cat pee, because
Hmm.
anybody who's changed a litter box knows, holy
Yeah.
cow, it's strong. It's the concentration of the protein and the fat in the urine makes it so strong that it's really hard to get the smell out. And
Yeah.
so, one of the things that we were told in vet school, and it works mediocre, is you use a black light, just any old black light, and to see if there's residue, there's always residue. And then you can try to clean it. There are enzymatic cleaners that maybe work, maybe don't. But like if it soaks into the carpet or the couch, your furniture is ruined, and everybody, the cats can certainly smell it. And so, we talk about using soap and rubbing alcohol to clean it back to back to back to back till it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. And it's hard because he's your boy
But I
and
can't
you
have,
love
yep.
him.
Hmm.
Right. But he's making your house kind of miserable. And so, yeah, you can try getting him neutered and do heavy duty cleaning. There's some pheromones. Sometimes they help. Don't hold your breath. And then I'm going to bring up food because I always do. But think of sending a 7-year-old child to school and all they eat is soda and cookies. They're not going to learn and have as good of behavior as if they're eating natural food. So always diet can play a role, but and then you've got a cat who's hooked on the junk food because you and I have talked about your cat's food, and it's hard, and
Oh,
your plate's full.
Yeah. So my
I
next
feel your
thing is trying to
pain.
get him fixed, but now I'm
Yeah.
worried it's never going to change. And then what do? I can't have a cat that's peeing now, marking the territory. If I keep the other cats, he's marking more because these other cats now. What do you do? I can't get rid of him. I have to keep him in diapers forever or make him an indoor outdoor cat. I don't know, but he'll still come in and spray.
Right.
Yeah. Um, and I don't know how good cat behaviorists are at that. And, I mean, how about hemp oil, like a full spectrum CBD product? Maybe it'll help. I don't know if it's anxiety, insecurity, or just male dominance.
Yeah, I hope it
Can you
goes away.
imagine
We'll
if
see.
human
And that
But
behavior, they'd be in
But
really
these
big
are like the
trouble.
questions you all may have for her. And we're opening up the phone lines
Yeah.
631 307 4010. 631 307 4010. If you have any question about your pet, even if it's an iguana, a hamster, she's here to help, right? Tell us a little bit about,
I'll
some
try.
tell us about some of the work that you're doing and how you're helping clients all over the world with your program.
Oh, absolutely. Like, for example, I just had
Somebody text me a little while ago who lives about 3 hours from me in Orlando. And oh my goodness, her dog got bitten by a brown recluse spider when it was a puppy. And it took 5 months for this horrible bite to heal. And the antibiotics and everything that this dog has been on, now the result is her dog's gut is all messed up. And they've tried all kinds of things to put good bacteria back into the intestines and it won't stick. And so I often get some of the really hard questions that we have to work through with things so that it's not one size. It's like you and me. We started talking about the kitties when Princess had she was pregnant the first time and
Yeah, she
she
lost.
basically aborted the litter, and so we talked about what to do. And so these are people who are in my monthly membership because they're like, okay, here's my next problem, how do I deal with this? So you and I talked about how to help Miss Princess. Now she's had three beautiful babies who are tearing up your apartment, which is beautiful.
The carpets coming out of the bathroom now. Yeah, they're into everything. And by the
Oh,
way, I have to say
good.
that too. They started. I put Mama's food separate because she was sick. So they started eating Mama's food, the
uh-huh.
dry kibble, which is bad for them. That's what they started on like last week because they started. I didn't realize. I'm like, where's all the food going? Not even thinking the cats are going to
Uh-huh.
start eating. Only thing I
Yes.
tried making them so far, I haven't had any chicken in my house. I make eggs all the time. They won't touch
Okay.
the eggs, but I tried that so far. But yeah, they've been eating the gross bad kibble. Mm-hmm.
Oh, then they're so young, it's like a perfect time to get it fixed. How about ground beef? You have hamburger in the house?
I do.
Tuna?
No, mine's all plant-based, whatever. I have no tuna. I have a very weird diet myself, but I need to get some chicken. I haven't gotten anything.
Okay. And see, this is an interesting thing because for humans, a lot of people are very successfully plant-based. And then I have some clients who are just plain old grossed out by handling meat because it just doesn't vibe with them at all. And I
Yeah.
get it. But they understand that cats are carnivores. 90% of their diet should be meat or a protein, which eggs would be beautiful. You could buy some canned chicken. You
Okay.
could, there are some great national brands as well as local brands. And I don't know exactly what you have up in New York, but I know you have some great options. There are companies that mail order cat food to the house that's based on human ingredients. So then you don't have to cook, you don't have to handle it other than, scoop it out and put it in the dish for the kitties. Because my fantasy goal for you is to have these three kittens eating only people food for their whole lives and,
Yeah, I
stealing
know.
mommy's junk food. So
Hmm.
it's tough because sure I could list you some brands, but
I
I'm
know.
not being paid to list them. But um
Oh, I got to ask about your conference too, but in a little bit, but go ahead.
Oh, no kidding. I did. I did.
the Little Rock, Arkansas conference thing. In fact, it was the conference started the day after President Trump was inaugurated. So he was inaugurated on Monday. On Tuesday
Oh,
was our conference. On Wednesday, the FDA was told go home. You will
what?
make no decisions. You will not partake in any decision making, anything. So the rest of the conference were like, well, how do we talk about and regulate pet food now? So we're all waiting for whatever the new reorganization is going to be, and where's the FDA going to come out in all of their positions. So it's a very interesting time in the pet food industry. But so
Wow.
meanwhile, I want you to feed those babies real food. So
Oh,
you
okay.
could get a half a pound of ground beef delivered, and you could put a little bit out in a dish for the kitties. You don't need to touch it. You don't need to do anything. You just scoop a spoon and you put it in a dish for the kittens.
And that'll be good. Okay, hold on. We have a caller. Hold on. Hi. Welcome to the show. You're live on the line with Dr. Cathy Alanovi. Who's this?
Yeah, hi, Bill. How are you?
Good. How are you? Just let you know you
Hi.
are live. What is your question?
I have a question for you. So my dog recently swallowed a coin, and when we went to the vet, he was trying to scare us into doing an endoscopy, which is $4,200, and then surgery, which is another 10,000 on top of it. And I don't have that kind of money, so and it just made me feel like like I wasn't doing the right thing. It's almost like bullying me. So I was
Mm.
wondering, what your thoughts were about that.
And I heard every word you said except for the item that was swallowed. What did he swallow?
Oh, it was a coin. I'm sorry. It
A
was a coin.
coin. And how big is your
Yeah.
dog?
She's like a 65-pound black lab.
Oh gosh. Okay. Have you checked the poop? Is it out yet?
Uh, I did take a look through it, and and I didn't see anything. So ultimately, it did come out.
Okay,
Because we had to
hallelujah.
do multiple X-rays, but it was.
Oh, and
But
that
the thing,
still cost you a fortune. Yes.
yeah,
And did
yeah,
it come
that's it.
out by her vomiting it or pooping it out?
Pooping it out.
Okay, beautiful. So you
So,
you you
is
honestly,
it?
Bill, nailed it on the head. You
I'm
under
sorry.
you described the veterinary industry perfectly.
Yeah,
We
they seem very cut happy.
Well,
It's like that.
it's
It's like,
profit center. You got to think how we stay in business. And when I
right,
was a recent graduate, I hired a
right,
management company, and the management company had this compliance training to help our veterinary staff gain compliance from the client. And basically, we present the most severe case scenario, and we stick with our guns and we say, that is the Cadillac. That's the only thing I'm willing to do. And it's the best thing,
yeah,
and it becomes one of those really aggressive sales, the bad car salesman that the stereotype is. We become that because we're focused honestly on the bottom line. You handled it
right,
beautifully. I'm proud of you for sticking with your guns. And, one of the things, part of the answer is how big is your dog? If you had a 20-pound dog who ate a quarter, I would be much more concerned than a 65-pound dog who maybe swallowed a penny, because knowing the size of the intestines, I know a penny or a dime or a nickel or even a quarter on a Labrador is going to pass out. Whereas on a 20
right.
pound or smaller dog, it's not going to come out. So we've got to get it. We could have offered vomiting, try to get him to vomit to get it to come up the top way.
Wait,
If
just
it,
curious, how did you even
oh,
know that he swallowed or she swallowed a coin?
um,
Like, was there any signs or symptoms?
Um, so no, it's just that somebody actually saw it in my house,
Oh,
and so saw the dog actually
witness.
swallow it.
so throw up would have been a good option. I mean, and there's a good chance you never
Yeah,
would have saw it, and it probably just would have passed anyways, what you're saying, because your
Yes.
dog was so large.
probably.
So the scare
Yeah,
tactics
probably
used by
right.
the veterinarian, wow,
Right.
that's what they do. That is horrible. hard. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
place and time for vets, as Dr. Kathy will
Yes.
tell you, but in a situation like that, saying, "Hey, we just saw it being swallowed," couldn't they have offered him something to eat to try to vomit, like you said? I mean, right away.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we could
Have you, based on your dog's body size,
have you or come into the vet and we can either give medicine like Ipecac that causes vomiting, or we could give you a half a cup of peroxide to pour down your baby's throat.
Right.
And
that'll make things come back up
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
for a
For
whole lot
sure.
less money. You spent a lot with
with the
Right.
constant,
How
x-rays.
much were the X-rays? Just curious.
I'm gonna say between the two visits, it was probably about $800, something like 700 or 800.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's a lot of money. And so this is,
Yeah.
a really good example of one of the services that I offer people. So had you known about me, not obviously no guilt trip meant, had you known about me, you could have
Texted and said, hey, 65-pound dog just ate a quarter.
order. What do I do? And I'd be like, pour half a cup of peroxide down her throat. And then you would have been
Well, they
watching
did
and we would
try
have
to induce
waited.
vomiting.
But
Yeah, they did try to induce vomiting. It didn't work. But
Okay.
he was saying though that it was trying to scare me into like how the coin could basically affect her kidneys and all that other
Oh
stuff.
my
but
God.
how did they try to make her vomit though? Did they give her Epicac or
I'm not
some,
sure. They took.
or they just said
I'm not
that?
100% certain. They
Okay.
took her in the back to do it.
It
Uh,
doesn't always
So I
work
have no idea.
100%,
okay.
honestly. And even the peroxide.
peroxide doesn't always work. Some of it depends on how much food's in the stomach, because the food will
Yeah.
just suck up the peroxide and then it doesn't make you puke. So
Right.
yeah, I know, I hear you. I'm sorry. I'm glad your outcome is
Yeah.
good.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, glad your outcome is good.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
sure. I got lucky.
But
Yeah.
next time you
Thank you
need,
very much.
you're welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. And next time, how do we handle this, Kathy? Tell them.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, a monthly membership. It's $25 a month, and you can find me at Healthy Possibilities with the dog
Okay.
paw.com.
Perfect.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.
Bye bye. All right. Line still open 631-307-4010. Wow, that's scary. I get it.
It
Wow.
is scary. And I don't know how it is up there. I assume it's very similar down here in Tampa Bay. If your dog isn't current on vaccines, rabies at least, but many places won't let these animals in the door without vaccinating them when honestly we're there because we think it's a medical emergency and the vaccines aren't always
Yeah.
the appropriate thing to be doing. But it's hard because pet owners don't realize their rights. I've even had people I say, well, I could really use a copy of the blood work. And the pet owner's like, well, I don't know if they'll give them to me. And I'm like, excuse me, this
Hmm.
is your dog. This is your cat. Those are your medical records. You absolutely have a right to have access to those. We don't have HIPAA with pets. I don't need to be talking about people's specific names and their animals and all that sort of thing. But yeah, you absolutely have a right to all of those things. And I'm very concerned by the veterinary industry refusing care to people whose pets are not current on rabies vaccines. I think that
Wow.
those vets are, we are not the vaccine police.
Yeah.
That is not why any of us went to vet school, to be the vaccine police. There's a time to give a rabies vaccine and there's a time not to. And if an animal is sick, that is not the time to be vaccinating these animals.
Wow.
Absolutely need to wait. Yeah, so
Wow.
very frustrating.
Ah, thank you. Well, also, I just want to remind everyone they can call 631-307-4010 if you have any questions. In the meantime, what else did you want to kind of focus on for today? This is great stuff. I love speaking with you, learning so much about your field and your craft. Any good stories recently that you have, in regards to, someone else with
Oh,
their
I got
animals that have been texting you?
politics for you.
You got what?
I got medical politics. Have you
Oh,
guys been
yes.
hearing anything in New York about bird flu?
Yeah, well, that's why our eggs are like $12 a dozen or something. Is that true?
Oh my, yes.
Yeah.
So
Who is it affecting? What? Like,
birds,
yeah, okay.
birds, it's terrible. So, okay.
We all know about the flu. We've
Yeah.
all had the flu, and we kind of have a misperception that people flu is only in people, and bird flu is only in birds, and swine flu is only in pigs. Honestly, it all mixes. And bird flu mostly stays in birds, but it can transition and come into other species. But what has been happening off and on for 17 years, this is not new. It's flu season right now, Jill, because the temperatures are going up and down. So the birds are getting sick, and it's the
Mm-hmm.
migrating birds because we've got birds flying all around the continent, and they're carrying the flu, and they stop off, they drop off the flu, and they move on to the next location. The problem is these places that are, having our
Yeah.
eggs, making our eggs, or making our chicken, they're getting infected, and
Oh,
what the what's really hard, I don't have a good solution. I've been thinking about this
okay.
and like I'm going to poke a finger at somebody, but I don't have a solution. So I see where they're coming from. The USDA is in charge of the egg laying facilities, the poultry facilities. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know what to do. So an entire chicken house of 10,000 birds gets filled with this foam. Basically, all the animals are drowned in foam,
Okay.
buried in
Oh,
place
we
underground, so they're composted.
okay.
And that's how they're disposing of these infected flocks. Now,
Um,
look at your backyard. Who comes and roots around in the compost pile?
yep,
Birds
birds and mm-hmm.
and cockroaches and rats and mice, and anybody comes exploring around, and then they go to the
Wow.
next farm. And so it's being transmitted. It's terrible. So, yes, there is a big problem with bird flu right now, and it is absolutely affecting all of our
Yes.
eggs, the price and the
Sorry to
availability.
interrupt, but we have a caller,
But
so hold on. Hi, welcome to
Beautiful.
the show.
Absolutely.
Who's this?
Hi, my name is Sasha. How are you?
Hi, Sasha.
Hi
Good.
there.
You're live on the line. How can we help you, or Dr. Kathy at least?
Yeah, so I actually was giving you guys a call because I was listening and I actually have a Shar Pei, right? So he keeps itching his ears and his sides. And I'm thinking there's something wrong, but I don't know what to give him.
Okay.
fantastic. How long has the ear problem been going on, and has this happened before?
No, this never happened, and it happened. It's been probably, I would say, days.
Okay, how old is she?
I believe she's 3.
Okay. Um, so different things can go on with the ear. First, we have to figure out if there's an infection. So you lift up the ear flap, you look in the ear hole, and you say, is it red, hot, swollen, painful? Or is it just gooey, dirty, yucky?
Ah,
Okay.
is it? Did you look in it? Was it gooey yuck? Did you? I don't know if you heard the question. Say it one more time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, can we say the question one more time? The phone kind of
Oh,
broke up.
okay. So,
So we have to figure out. So dogs get dirty ears, and we have to help them clean their ears. If the ears are dirty for a long time, an infection will start. So the
Oh,
way to tell the difference is to see, lift up the ear, that cute little Shar ear
ah,
flap,
okay.
and look inside there and say, okay, is this ear just brown, gooey, or is it also red, hot, swollen, painful, maybe smelly?
Mm, okay.
So
Okay.
If it's just gooey dirty, then we need to clean ears. And one of the things that we are trained by the grooming industry, but it's wrong. We're trained, oh, you don't want to put water in those ears, but come on now. I put water in my ears every time I take a shower and then I dry my ears. So if the ears are simply dirty, you take an 8-ounce bottle of water, you add 1 or 2 drops of dish soap, believe it or not, fill the ear super, super wet, squishy, squishy, squishy for like 30 seconds. And then you do the other ear for 30 seconds, and then you stand back and your dog shakes their head and flings the goo all over. You have now cleaned your dog's ears. That may
Okay.
be all you need to do.
Thank
If it's
you. All right.
okay, so, but if it's red hot, swollen, painful, you have an infection, but sometimes you just need to clean the ears 3 days in a row and it clears it up. Sometimes it's really
Okay.
straightforward. Part of the reason I asked if it ever happened before is constant ear infections is often an allergy to food.
We talked about
Oh.
this before. Yep, I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
And so that's why I asked how old your baby is, if it had happened
Yep.
before. So hopefully it's just wintertime, dirty ears. I need my
Mm-hmm.
ears cleaned. And hopefully you're also feeding really good food.
Thank you so much. All right.
All right. Thank
Great
you, guys.
question.
Thank you for the
My
call. Thank
pleasure.
you for being here. And we appreciate you and great to have you back. We're unfortunately out of time, but I love speaking with you. Great having you back here. And want to hear more about the conference another time. But how do we contact you in
Yes.
the meantime?
Healthypossibilities.com with a paw. I'm also on Facebook, Dr. Cathy Alanovi, DVM. So yes, and come to my website. I have a free report and I can't wait to talk to you again.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you. Pleasure having you back. Bye bye, hun.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.